Yo, it's your boy Cape, Straight Facts homie, man. You already know what time it is. We're back with another episode. Before this video starts, make sure you get in the comment box. Tell me what else I should review. Subscribe to the channel, comment, all that. We finally got, out of nowhere, Travis Scott. His new album was finally out, his debut album, or his second album actually. So I didn't really listen to Rodeo that too much, but there's definitely a couple songs on there that I like. But starting here, this is, oh my goodness. We might have a possible album of the year. I'm gonna just let you know right now. This is amazing. I didn't know what I was gonna get into when the album cover, some of his interviews that he was talking about, definitely like this is mind blowing. Like, Birds in the Trap sing this. Let's just start with the first track, the end. It starts off right away. It's so dark. The whole album is so dark, and him and Andre 3000 together. Like, what more can you possibly ask for? Like, I'm not even a huge Travis Scott fan myself. And this right here, like the way that the two of them combine together on this track is just perfect. Right from the beginning, the beat drops and it's so dark and gritty, and then Andre comes in and fills in this, like, I feel like Andre's on the comeback. Like, he's dropping verses here and there. We might have a project coming on the way soon. So that's definitely dope. And then on the second song, Way Back, oh my goodness, this is not fair. On the second song, it's a continuation, and it's almost like with Rodeo, Travis Scott was showing you like he can draw outside the lines, but on this one, it's like he's trying to create a masterpiece, and it's not fair for everybody else. Like when he was talking about drop the rodeo, dodge the rodeo like I did the bull, that like a Olay. I was like, that's not fair. Like his ability to, I don't think he's like the best rapper when it comes to lyrics, but to create a picture, like I just feel like I'm in the trap, I'm in the darkness that he's trying to create, and it's just spiraling down and down, and like as the album continues on, the Way Back is the perfect like vision of that. Like I feel like I'm in his shoes. And then you get into the next song, which I think is like top 3 coordinate. The intro reminded me of Chief Keef's Love Sosa when he has a dude talking about how good he is or how people need to stop trying to. It's so dark and gritty. Like there's not too many people who I feel like can replicate that the way he did. And it's almost as if it's him against the world, and he's showing you that he could take it all on. And the beat and the production on this is so stellar. Like there's a thing having good production, great production, and then there's Travis Scott production. And it's so, and you can see the Kanye West influence. Another reason why it's Kanye so great, like look at artists like Travis Scott and his ability to create such beautiful and at the same time dark in his own way music. And then throughout the late night, this is like the middle part is like the best part of the album. Throughout the late night is the continuation of like his story within himself. Like it's almost throughout the late nights, if you could take the switch up of Meek Mill's intro, it's kind of similar like this. He starts with a dark, gritty flow, and then he switches up, calms it down. It's like the calm before the storm. And then the Kid Cudi, I'm not a big Kid Cudi fan. I don't really like his sound and his sound. But this is definitely a Kid Cudi song on steroids. I feel like he did Kid Cudi style, but much better. And Kid Cudi's on here. I feel like he bodied Kid Cudi. Like he took his style and just deboed his shit. Like, give me that, everything. And he just made it so much better, so much darker, so gritty. Bees in the Trap, my boy NAV. I don't know if his name or NAV. I've been messing with him for a while. Even though he's an underground artist, he's starting to put independent artists, putting his way up. This is definitely by far the best trap song on the album, and he had the best performance on the album. Travis Scott he ain't body Travis Scott, but he definitely outshined him, and he definitely did his thing. I'm happy for him that Travis Scott gave him that look, and oh my gosh, it's not fair. The way they combine on this track is just perfect and beautiful. This is definitely the best song on here, by far, hands down. And then you get into the interlude halfway through the album, and this is where you see this change up in the album from the darkness and the grittiness, and it's almost like he's coming out and you're searching for the light. This is where you see the transition right here at the interlude of Say 6. But for me, even though he kind of goes in a different direction, it's like he's coming out of the tunnel from here on out. I still like a lot of the songs, even though they didn't give me the same feel at the beginning of the album. But like I said, the next song after that, Sweet Sweet, it kind of took a dip for me. I still enjoyed it, and I feel like he snapped on the last verse. I feel like the last verse, this was the best verse by Travis Scott on the whole album. I feel like he was able to create, all right, the change of the direction of the whole album is like where he wants to go from here. But Outside, I feel like Outside is not the weakest song on the album. It's just the chorus was so redundant, and the 21 Savage feature, like, it wasn't needed. Like, he didn't ruin it, but it didn't help me. And if you're not helping me, then what are you doing? He didn't have the lazy monotone flow he used on his last album or mixtape Savage Mode, but it was just useless at that point. And then he just goes into Goosebumps and he draws me back in, him and Kendrick. Me personally, I'm not a big Kendrick fan, but I feel like Kendrick's verse on here was perfect. It fit in so well. His schizophrenic flow, his grittiness, it was almost like a bump in the road, just trying to get back out of the tunnel, but it was still like, we're still looking for the end. I feel like him and Travis Scott and Kendrick mixed well on there. I feel like they complemented each other. Even though I feel like Kendrick outshined him a little bit on the track, I didn't feel like he bodied him, but definitely I felt like that's the one. That's the first time I liked Kendrick's verse in a really long time. Pick Up the Phone and First Take, these two songs, I feel like Pick Up the Phone it's such a hot song. It doesn't really flow with the album, but it's such a hot song you have to put in. I feel like him and Young Thug, if they made an album together, it would be pretty dope because I like those two on the track together. I feel like they complement each other very well. And then First Take, it took me a while to grow on me. Like most of Bryson Tiller songs, it takes a while for it to grow on me, but once it does, I finally do enjoy it. I feel like Young Thug, I feel like Travis Scott mixes well with a bunch of other artists, and I feel like he brings the best out of them, and I think like he did that with Bryson Tiller and Young Thug. And the last two songs on the album, Guidance and Wonderful, it's like, especially Wonderful, it's the end of the tunnel. It's the end of the story that and especially, like, Guidance is almost like their reggae. I feel like everybody in 2016 has to have a reggae song on there. But I don't feel like Travis Scott forced it. I feel like his production and his flow, he was able to combine. It sounded like a natural reggae artist, like a Vibes Cartel or something like that. So I felt like he definitely did that well. And Wonderful with him in The Weeknd, like, what more can you ask for? I felt like he ended the album perfectly. It was definitely a great trip. And like for me personally, I like this album so much and I still don't know exactly what's everything that's going on. I think that's the beauty of it, that you can interpret it so many ways. But I feel like even though individually a lot of people didn't like the song Wonderful as a single, but I feel like here on the album it just fits perfectly. So personally, I feel like we have a potential album of the year on our hands. I feel like as the year goes on, I'm gonna enjoy it even more. But if I had to give this a final rating, oh my goodness. For me personally, I'll give this album an 89 out of 100. I think this is the highest rating I've given an album since I started rating albums on the show. This is definitely, if you haven't listened to this yet, you have to give it a listen. I feel like Travis Scott finally created something that no one else is in hip hop right now has done. Like, this masterpiece, Between the Darkness, is beautiful. Like, I've never seen any artist articulate and create such with production, the lyrics and the features, and create something as a whole. It's definitely a Kanye West influence, and you can see it. It's a lot like Kanye's album. Even though a lot of the songs don't necessarily go with each other, but I think it was done perfectly. But yo, it's your boy Cave, Straight Facts Homie. Let me know what you think about this album, if it's trash or it's not. Get in the comment box, all that, and we're gonna get back to you with some more episodes. All right, let's go.